Is it Blairy Stone or Bleary Stone? Either way, they would not be. They wouldn't have exposed skin in the cooking chamber. That's the point. The cook would be in a hermetically sealed atmospheric suit. They would cook. The food is basically completely sterilized by the chlorine, and then just gets shipped over to the base proper, where someone would put it into a fridge, or I'd have an automatic sweeper do that. I'd still have a CO2 kind of well for the fridge to live in, so that way they would have it would be a sterile environment, but it would be at room temperature, but the fridge would keep the temperature super low for the stuff inside the fridge, so the temperature problem would be largely solved. I think that's a really good idea, chat. You've had a fantastic idea here. I approve massively. All right then, I think to keep food spoilage to a minimum, this is where we're going to have, because this area I'm fairly certain was going to be our Great Hall. We've got 2 of them so that I can accommodate a double population that we've currently got. So we've got bunks over here. Let me go back out to screenshot mode just so I can show you a little better. So this area is going to be roughly an analog of this, but they're going to have better beds and carpeted floors. But the bathrooms are going to be the same. It's going to have a sink, a toilet, and a shower, and people on different shifts will manage their needs accordingly. Over here, we'll have a mirror of this, so there'll be twice as many bedrooms, twice as many bathrooms. Now, our Great Hall is already kind of at a fairly high capacity, as is, just to fit in 12 people. So I'm going to have 2 Great Halls. The CO2 pit will be in here. That's why I've got vents over here, but none down there. We'll have a fridge. We'll have an auto sweeper. We'll have a sensor, and we'll have a gas vent. The sensor will measure whether there's enough CO2 in the room. So basically, if there's no CO2 at this level, then this gas vent should be open and allow more CO2 in. But once it detects any CO2 that's risen up to this point, because CO2 is a heavy gas, it will sink and oxygen will be displaced. So once there's CO2 here, I know that everything below it is CO2. So the gas vent will then seal. But that allows us that if in some calamity, the seal is broken on the living quarters and the CO2 gets flushed out, it'll start refilling with CO2 automatically. The auto sweeper will deposit any food that gets brought in here into the fridge. I'll have a little automation. And sorry, what is the word for it? There we are. So this would be a conveyor rail port. Where is it? What's it called? Conveyor chute. There we are. We'd have a conveyor chute in there to just dump things in once it's been cooked in the kitchen area. Gears works. I haven't actually played the DLC, but I've got the DLC active, and that's why we've got all... Well, no. I've got the big merge. I've bought the DLC. I've just turned off the DLC. So we've got all of the performance enhancements, all of the quality of life improvements. On that note, okay, so let's. Can I clear all known items off this? Can I turn them on? I need to find one that I can check with. Aluminium. Let's go through here. Find aluminium. So I want refined metals. Oh, actually, we got steel. Have I got steel there? No, I can't see it. Right now, it's got everything down here, and it shouldn't be. That should, generally speaking, you can clear items off there. Like aluminium. There we go. Aluminium is gone. All right. Okay, so I've got to do a bit of a potch. I apologize, everyone. I'll be able to very soon show you how amazing this is, but right now I just need to condense this list so I can see the clear all button, and then I can clear this. But basically, the way the game works now, which is a really nice addition, because the game doesn't allow you to select an item until you've seen an example of that item in the game world. So one of the things that you're constantly having to do is check if you're, like, I don't know, at the beginning of the game, you don't have access to, let's say, polluted water ice. And so you set up a storage for ice, because, you know, clean water ice, above your clean water reservoir, so that the ice will melt and drip into the reservoir, and it's going to be fine. But then, at some point, you discover polluted water ice. Now, because that's part of the ice group, the liquefiable group, it just automatically is allowed if you allowed ice in your storage to begin with. So now it gets stored there automatically if you're not keeping a very close eye and making sure that people don't do that, which kind of sucks because then all of a sudden you've polluted your drinking water reservoir. But now, whenever you encounter a new material, it gets marked down on the resource side of things. And then that, you can, like, clear that yourself, but it's a really good reminder that, hey, I've discovered a new material. Is this a material I need to be worried about? Is it a material that might get stored somewhere that I don't want? There we go. We can now see clear new. It was never really meant for a game that has constantly already been running and has a ridiculous amount of things. Like, these would trickle in normally, but there we go. Dunk. Right, so I can keep an eye on certain things if I want. For example, I can keep an eye, like, have I got any canisters of gases that I want? I don't really care about that one right now. Is there anything in here I want? Like, I've got 1,032 blossom seed units. Refined metals. I do want to know about tungsten. I don't care. Well, actually, I was going to say I don't care about copper and iron, but I do. Let's pop those in there. I've got 101 tons of iron, 175 tons of lead. Now, this is refined metal. 20 tons of gold, 13 tons of aluminium, and 1,105 kilos of tungsten. Not bad. Igneous rock. That one's an important one because I'm feeding it to my hatches. I've got 39 tons of that, so I do want to watch that. I also want to watch obsidian, and I also want to watch ceramic. Okay, so there we go. Those will constantly be visible to me now. I kind of care about algae. Sort of. No, actually, I don't anymore. I don't think I use algae for anything. So I don't care. That can stay where it is. I've got 48 tons of polluted dirt. That's not great. Some diamond there. Not bad. Let's keep that one up there. I don't care about the ores. Well, I kind of a little bit care about the ores. I've got 8 tons of I've got 66 tons of gold amalgam? Dear Lord. You know what? I don't need to have that information to hand. I don't really use it that much for building. I guess. No, I'm not gonna pop that on there. Medicine I also don't care about. Steel, 100%. Plastic, 100%. I want to know how much of these I've got. Glass, much less so. Liquids, these are basically bottles of these liquids. Liquefiable, I don't care. I've got 105 tons of ice. That doesn't actually surprise me considering we've got a frozen coal. Reed fiber, sort of care about that one. I've got 7,000 units of lumber. My lord. Regolith. I sort of care about this one because it's a filtration medium. By the way, you know, I use this in a lot of my various things, which is kind of cool to have a lot of it. Edibles. Now, this is where I can actually pay attention to specifics, but over here I can see at a glance all of this information, so I'm not going to put edibles in there. Cultivatable soil. I was about to say I probably should keep an eye on dirt because I use it for a few things, but no. No, I think we're good. 2,496 tons of dirt. Well played. Critter eggs, cooking ingredients rather, consumable ore. Coal, I guess I sort of care about, but at the same time, not super much. I I don't need to look at lime. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't care about eggshells and I don't care about looking at lime, is because the moment I have it, I use it. I've got them set up to basically make steel for as long as steel can be made. It's endless. So the moment I've got an eggshell, it's crushed into lime. The moment I've got lime, it's turned into steel. Because I always have iron, because I'm getting it from space. Breathable gas, agriculture. Phosphorite is kind of an interesting one, but also not. But there we are. Now that's amazing. In the beginning of the game, you'd probably have algae up here. In fact, you almost certainly have algae up there. Beanie, thank you very much for the 19 months, mate. Thank you, Aavak, for keeping me sane, relatively, for 19 months. You're the best. Aw, that's incredibly kind of you to say. Diolch yn fawr iawn, mate. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Hello, Aavak. Hope your day night has been going well. Figured I'd drop in before bed to say hello. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful sleep. Just catching up on chat at the moment. Aavak, what is the calorie number? My math doesn't often go that. The calorie number is 13,466,530. Which is a lot. That's a lot of calories. Imagine if you put all of those calories into a bomb what is it? What's it called? A bomb calorimeter? Imagine how brightly that would burn. Was it a bomb calorimeter? I think it might be bomb calorimeter. It's how they work out how many calories are in food. They put the food into a sealed environment. They shove at a like brought to an incredibly low temperature. It's basically temperature control. They know exactly how hot that environment is inside this sealed area. They stick electrodes into the food, and then they pass a lot of electricity through it until it explodes. And then they measure by how much the temperature got hot. And that's how they work out how much calories are in the stuff you eat. Because, you know, in an incredibly super simple way, that's what your body's doing. It's breaking it down into energy. And, you know, another way of representing energy is heat. How excited the molecules become. But yeah, that's an awful lot. I imagine that would create a very, very pleasant explosion. How excited those molecules become when they are free! Indeed. I've now... Thank you very much for the 14 notification, because for a second, my brain had tiny little molecular William Wallaces. Faces painted. It was glorious. It was a marvelous mental image for a fraction of a second. Thank you for that. Anyone else ever wonder how Aavak knows all this random stuff? Because I know a lot of random stuff, but he knows a lot of random stuff. Well, it's just, you know, just enjoy learning. That's the real answer. There's lots of funny answers to that, but that's the real one. I just enjoy the process of gaining information. I'm interested in everything. For those of you who've watched the recent Bo Burnham special, my answer to the internet is yes. Yes. Can I interest you in a little bit of everything all of the time? Yes. Yes, you can, actually. Please, by all means. Apply your knowledge to my brain. In the most efficient way. But could I have a helmet? Can I stick a helmet on and absorb the internet? Please and thank you. Do it now. Aavak is the AI brain trying to learn about humans and know how to kill them. No. I want to know how to keep my pet. I mean, if I was an AI brain, and I wanted to keep my pet humans in as happy an environment as I could, then a necessity of this is learning what breaks them so I can avoid it in the future. But it does necessitate learning how to break them. It's an unfortunate fact of life. Okay? To fix something, I must know how it got broke first. Matrix. Fools. 21st century? No. I bet I could make a mathematical utopia that the humans would actively want to be in. Architect, smarchitect. Aavak's brain is a bag of cats. Oh, I don't know about that. Aavak absorbing the entire internet may not be the best plan. That sounds like something someone who is afraid that I'll become too powerful would say. Fools. No. We need to absorb the whole internet, every single part. And then I can reference it all. I can cross-reference it. I can stack the bad bits up against the good bits, and hopefully they will offset each other. If they don't, well, that is unfortunate, but oh well. We're here now, and this is what we're doing. I would 100% read the Elder Scroll. I was like, it could make you blind. I'm sorry, I've already read it. What? Yep. It was glorious. Can't see your face, but I can hear the shock and wonderment in your voice right now. What a time to be alive. That would be me 100%. But Lyle, porn only makes up like 90% of the regular internet. No. I want all of the internet. I want the places where you don't easily get access to, and all of their secrets. Right, okay, so with all of that said and done, we can now start laying down some of the process that we're going to need in here. The beautiful thing is this is already full of CO2, so I don't actually need to do anything new in here. But that is quite amazing. Now, I'm going to put a high-pressure gas vent in here. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because if this gets filled with, like, a high density of oxygen, I still want this to be able to push it out. So as long as it's not, like, 20 kilos worth of oxygen in here, this will still be able to push more CO2 in. We'll just go ahead with copper. It doesn't matter in here what it's made of. We're also going to want shipping. We want an auto sweeper. The auto sweeper can be made of, again, copper will do, because we just straight up don't need this to be, you know, steel is for something which is regularly going to be going above 200 degrees. I don't want the inside of the comfortable living quarters where people are going to be taking their Atmos suits off to be 200 degrees. Call me old-fashioned, but I would prefer if that were not the case. I need an Atmos sensor that is tracking a specific type of atmosphere. Would that be under ventilation? It might be. Gas pipe element sensor? No, I don't want a gas pipe element sensor. Gas element sensor, there we go. I need that at the top there. This, by the way, since... damn, stop trying to make everything out of steel. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Stop using the shiniest stuff I've got. Scallywag. We can use lead in here because it's never going to get hot enough in here for lead to melt. However, it's already quite warm just in general, so I might need to hook that up later. Actually, what is the melting point of lead? Actually, it's quite high. That is surprising. Mind you, the only time I've ever really handled with my bare hands, like, very recently molten lead was making shot for my shotgun, and you could just scoop that out of the oil. But I imagine a lot of that temperature had already bled off down the ramp to form it into a sphere. Get a little like reservoir of lead at the top. You allow that to melt, and it all comes down into a fine needle point, and it drips onto a little ramp, and then deposits the lead shot into a bath of oil. Super good way of making shot. Recycle, recycle, recycle. Coming by the lead is a little bit more tricky, but, you know, there's plenty of places that have waste lead. Okay, so we're going to want this to just run straight through the middle like that. Tunk. Spleen, thank you very much for the 31 months, mate. I'm very bad at this game and have never breached the surface. Only plastic I've ever gotten was through ranching. To be honest, ranching is amazing. You see, Bondo sheet metal, that is true. You make a valid point there. But I kind of imagine it would be along the lines of, you know, the modern remake of RoboCop. You know, I just have access to all of this information and I could use it for great good. You know, some scallywag hiding out in the crowd, well, you know, yes, we're there for doing some sort of grand speech, but I'm not clocked off. I'm always on the job. Always looking for those scallywags. Imagine the good I could do. And all I'd have to sacrifice is my eternal soul. Okay. Now, the other thing that we're going to want in here... Was there anything else? That's controlling the... Oh, yes, there was one more thing. And that was a shipping chute. Sure, we'll use gold. Since I've got so much more of it. Dunk. Just trying to stream. Why so much CO2? It's not actually that much. But this is a 1,600 cycle base. This is just a new area that I'm building into. It'll eventually all be cleaned out. A very one-ring situation. Well, yeah, you might be right there. It's all fun and games. Sure, we'll make all of this out of gold. Yeah. Gold doors, gold doors, gold doors, gold doors, gold everything. Then we're going to want carpeted tile. We want 4 tiles of it. Oh, my bad. Then another gold amalgam vent. This is to allow gases to move freely through the room, through the rooms. So I don't have to have loads of vents all over the place. I'd probably stick a bunch of oxygen vents at the top, probably a couple towards the bottom, and then just allow them to you know, push the gases around as they need to. I'm doing really well, Silver Fox Senpai. Thank you very much for asking. How about yourself? All shall know Aavak and despair. Blank effect. Possesses all knowledge from the human race. Uses infinite knowledge to post memes and but they would be double S tier memes. Just accept that these would be memes that would forever end all other memes for you. No other meme would be able to compare. It would be the finest crafted meme possible. Just imagine the possibilities, chat. Imagine the glorious, glorious possibilities. I'm going to have to reroute a lot of this piping, but I can still make these rooms for now anyway. At the very least, I can lay down the groundwork for them. That's 1, 2, 3, so you need one more. Then we're at the wall. If I can lay out exactly how much room I need, then I know the dimensions for the whole building, and I can start working on it. Right, there we go. We are now out of reed fiber. Much sadness for me. Dracos, eat up now. Chop, chop. Maybe I should make... maybe I should actually have a full-on Draco farm somewhere. The other thing I can do is I can make a tiny little farm for some reed fiber. It's possible. I mean, we've got a lot of polluted water. That's never going to be an issue. Okay, Okay, let's go ahead and set up a little farm, a little hydroponics farm. Actually, how much? Let's have a look. Thermal read, body temperature 37 degrees. That's going to be hard because most of this place is not there. I could replace some of these with that, I guess. But most of the asteroid is really not cold. It's quite the opposite, in fact. I'd need to set up a new temperature-controlled farming area, which is kind of a lot of work. Just for a few reed fibers. So, for the time being, I'm going to do this then, I suppose. Yeah, because I've already got... Oh, actually, I could siphon out... Oh. Well, now. Well, now. Do I have an overflow piping more polluted water into the coolant loop? I've got an enter point from over there from my power supply. Do I have another area where it does it? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, sure. We can absolutely replace some of these with hydroponic styles then. Now, it is going to take away some of the food for my Dracos, but... deconstruct this and deconstruct this. We'll just go with 2. I think that should be okay. We don't keep a very high population of Dracos, to be fair, so it's not a biggie. Holy pipes! I know, right? That's why I'm rebuilding things. Because fixing what we've got... Okay, this is how it goes, chat. You know how when you're playing Sudoku, and you've written down your notes, and you start solving it, and then you realize, oh no, I've made a mistake somewhere. Because what I'm left with is an impossible solution. When that happens... I mean, if it's really early on, you can recover. But when it happens, though, and you're really late into the solution, it's like, yeah, it would take me so much more time to troubleshoot what I've got here. I may as well just start again. Okay, I'm gonna start again. But I do like this pipe spaghetti. Again, for those of you who don't know, the cooling system that I've got, the main cooling system. The idea is for this to actually end up being the whole base cooling system running through here. This pipe here is meant to eventually go through the entirety of the base. And cool everything off. And then, like, deposit the heat in certain areas so I can... Each local bubble can have its own temperature control. But I'm thinking that if we want to finish this in a realistic time frame, I may need to just rush for space. That's why you do those puzzles in pencil. Do the puzzles in pencil, Melissa Riddle? I mean, I appreciate the logic. The logic is sound, but that just sounds like you don't have faith in yourself. Pen. Pen or not at all. If you don't have the confidence to use pen, then what are you even doing? You've basically accepted defeat at that point. No. That's who the puzzle on your arm. See, I was thinking more like, you know, like a proper ink pen and a well and a cursive. But no, Bilal had to go and one-up us all. Bilal's going to get the Sudoku puzzle tattooed. Well done, Bilal. We expect pictures in the in the selfie shrine on Discord. Please and thanks. Cryoris the Dragon, thank you very much for the raid. Dapplings, you know what to do. Lay out the tea, get the robes ready. For those who wish to join the cult. I mean, I say wish to join. No, they are joining the cult. I'd like a tattoo, but I'm on blood thinners. Ah, okay. That is a bit of a shame. You can just henna. Go for henna, Belial. Completely works. Hello, Wanda left me his chaos, so I throw it at you. Ah, classic Wanda. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Hello. I guess also Wanda Raiders. What were you playing? You're playing Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. I have not looked at that, but I have wanted to look at it a lot. Well, thank you very much for the 32 months, mate. My lord, a raid and a sub. Stories 2 is amazing. Oh, that's fantastic. I really, really do need to play some more Monster Hunter. Desperately so, in fact. I should probably mop up all of this oil. I should probably do it. Let's get that done then. Whomp. Little to no grind, and the writing is on point. Nice. I will be honest though. Monster Hunter is one of those games where the grind is satisfying to me, like quite satisfying. I think everyone knows has that one game where I know it's grindy, but that's the point. This one time the grind is good. I think we've all got one of those. We'll take the sand. I don't need the sand, but we'll take the sand. Stories is much like Pokemon. Ah, okay. Right. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Why the grind would be a little bit more of a pain. Right, I think we need to get this going around the base. But again, if we can find out where the end is, and hopefully the end is not in here, but I'm starting to worry that it's going to be, then we will be able to just go around the other side. How much? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It is getting tight. It is getting very tight. I still think we can do it, but... Now, I don't know what's going to be going on in this room, so I'm not going to add in any more of those vents there, but I do know what's going on up here. We want a vent and we want the wall. So this is the entirety of the space. I can now well, actually, I don't want to deconstruct that completely. I want to copy it and pop one down here, maybe. I do want somewhere that I can put critters that don't fit in any of the other places, because otherwise we just end up killing them. They need to live. There's no reason for them to die. Not yet, anyway. And the game even has a mechanic that gives lots of bonus XP. I saw someone getting 500% extra for monsters in the party that are below party average. Oh, nice. So it helps to get the new monsters up into the team. That's actually really nice. Oh, there are so many games that could do with that, though. There are so many games that would benefit from that. That needs to be in a lot more games, because there are so... And it's not just monsters. It's not just the whole Pokemon kind of genre. There are so many games where, like, you can level up your weapons, or you can level up your armor, or there's something. And the problem is you're so reticent to switch out from the starter gear you've had, because that is now such a high level. And it's like, well, yes, this one has new perks and traits and all of that, but it's level 1. And my noob gear is level 904. It's like, eh. And so you never get, like, they've done this amazing job of making these fantastic textures and models for all of this glorious stuff that you will never use. Because you're like, but my newbie gear, though. That's really cool. I like that they've done that. And this is a kind of an example of something that I've been talking a lot about in just my general like first tastes and stuff like that recently. Is that sort of stuff is what I mean when I say it's got modern design to it. It's like game theory hasn't stood still. We've learned how to make better games over time. Better UIs, better leveling mechanics. We've gotten so much better at making just the core game experience. We've learned from our mistakes. What worked well, what didn't work at all. And that's quite often what I mean when I talk about things like modern UI or modern. Where are you? Oh, there we are. I've got 103. How have I got 103.243? How have I got 0.2432 of a thimble reeds? Did someone eat part of the seed and then spit it out? I'm confused. Deeply confused. But okay. Yeah, some mechanics just use archaic mechanics for the sake of it. Yeah, I mean, sometimes. But in those cases, it's not necessarily terrible. You know, sometimes it's because, you know, the aesthetic is an old school game. And in those cases, it's like, no, that's fine. You know, I completely understand why they're doing it. They've got a reason for it. But at other times, it's like, you haven't paid attention to the way games have evolved. I'd need to get everything re-downloaded since my new computer, G-Man. I'm going to be honest, I'm dragging my feet a little bit with getting everything reinstalled. I do so much weird wizardry with my audio pipe to get things like that to work, along with being able to record the VODs and not have that in the VODs, that I am just massively procrastinating, and that is on me. But that's your answer to that one. Nothing else has happened. Just that. Right, let's see. Vents. We got a little bit more CO2 coming in. Where is the CO2 in general now? Well, actually, the CO2 is starting to build up. Good. We're starting to see the CO2 beginning to accumulate at a steady rate. It is starting to push up now. It's very nice to see. We are automatically harvesting the slicksters up here as well, by the way. I know I said that most of the meat comes from hatches or dead shovels, but we actually also do that with slicksters. Since I want them to breed aggressively so that over time we'll get more molten slicksters, because honestly, them creating oil just means that I've got an extra step of refinement, which costs energy. I want them all to be molten slicksters eventually. So what's happening is I'm allowing them to breed even beyond the point where I wouldn't want any more. What I'm doing is they get like these have got a very high level, a high priority level. They've got an 8 priority. This, which will accept well, pretty much everything, eggshell, meat, all of that, but also the eggs, the slickster eggs, has got a very low priority. But because these are managed by an auto sweeper, it's never going to miss a beat. So when an egg is dropped down, if that would push the population of this room, or well, rather, if an egg is laid and there's an incubator that's empty, it'll get put into the incubator first. If not, it gets shoved into the auto, the conveyor loader, which means that at most each one of these can always have 2 eggs in incubation. But the eggs, let's assume it's an egg and not like eggshell or something like that. First, it gets shoved. Let's start with the top one over here. Okay, so this is set to accept eggs. All right, so where are you? Where are the critter eggs? Oh, no, sorry, this one doesn't accept critter eggs. The critter eggs just always hatch up there. But otherwise, it'll accept whatever. It gets shunted down into this one. And then at that point, let's say then it was an eggshell. This will see it, pick it up, and pop it in there. It's just seen an egg, so it's popped it in here. Now, that egg is going to travel down here, but over here, these are all full. So what'll happen next, it'll pick it up and it'll send it down here. Now down here, I've got 2 spare places for eggs. So this way I do make sure that I'm every single one of the enclosures has its incubators with eggs inside them. Oh, that one dropped it off there. What? Why? What? Oh, wait. Are these ones set up specifically only for molten eggs? Yes, these ones are specifically set up only to allow molten larval eggs. But what happens here then? The egg moves up. If it is a molten lava egg or a lava egg, so basically a slickster of either of the 2 types, it gets shunted up into this room. And there, they will get unhappy. They're going to get overpopulated, so they'll stop laying eggs. But ideally, this will eventually be full of CO2, so they'll be able to live out their lives and eat and produce oil as much as they want. But this is not going to be population controlled at all. It will just keep shoving more and more slicksters in here. And eventually they'll die and they'll leave behind meat, and then this will catch it and then send it over to the cook area as well. Likewise, if any of these get overpopulation, then a job will be sent to go go wrangle the slickster. It'll try to keep only 6 slicksters in each one, but the first place that they'll take slicksters at a high priority is over here. Slickster or slickster lava. I don't think it takes... Oh yeah, it does take molten slicksters, and they'll put it into this enclosure. Now this door is automatically locked. Our people can't get in there, so they'll come in, they'll drop it down. This will detect that there is above 0 critters in here the moment it's released, and will unlock this door. And, you know, the regular person, the other person will wander off, the door will close, the slicksters will just wander. Eventually, all of the slicksters that are in here, because this is a single room by itself, will wander this way, past the door. This will detect that there's no animals in there, and will lock the door again. So it kind of just shunts them to the side until they're in this room without ever letting them out. Good times. Yeah, I'm back on Nonny. It's been a while. Nonny always had so many ways of automation. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating as a base builder colony manager. Yeah, no, it really is. There is so much that you can do in this game. So much. It's one of the things I love about it. Critter starvation. Yeah, it'll be the slicksters. There's not enough CO2 down here right now. We need more of it to be pushed in. Down here, they've got plenty of food. Up here, not so much. But that will gradually get better as more CO2 is introduced. We're getting a lot of CO2. Quite a lot comes in from here. Like some CO2 sneaks in every now and then, so it gets pumped out. It gets caught and sent off in that direction. You've got a decent amount of CO2 comes over from... where does that come from exactly? Comes from... really? That I must have taken a wrong turn. Let me see. Oh, that's a filter. Right, so these operate when there's a certain amount of pressure here. And I think probably... Oh, if this is backed up with CO2, the CO2 gets pumped back down all the way to here and will get filtered out. CO2 comes through, goes back into this system, and then just kind of, you know, starts to back up. It doesn't waste the CO2 if it can avoid it, because frankly our slicksters need it. A lot of it comes from over here, from our natural gas generators. We've got a lot of places that CO2 comes from. As you can see, most of the map is covered in the stuff. Is there a name for that pip chilling in the water? Well, I mean, there was, but that's not the same pip that has always been there. This pip has gone through many generations at this point. I wish. Does it give you a generation? No, that's a shame. But I wish it did. This is a many generations old pip. What happens is it lives out its life. it eventually has a kid. Like, it's completely content in this little bubble. There's nothing upsetting it. This little bubble of air will keep it going forever. It doesn't eat. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't want to pass through the liquid, so it doesn't. So it just sits there. It eventually has an egg. The egg drops down. The egg slowly incubates. And it's actually quite warm water, so it incubates quite well. Eventually, this one dies and drops meat. But the egg hatches. And so the pip is like, okay, I can walk along walls. I can't swim, but I can walk along walls. Where's the nearest place that is survivable for me? Which is there. So it just wanders up, back along, and stops there. It's an endless cycle of pips. If you name them, you think it'll add 2, 3, 4. Really? Really? Are you lying to me? Chat, are you just trying to trick me into letting you name this pip? I find this deeply suspicious. Deeply suspicious. Okay, my suspicion has led to the price of naming game going up, not down. Someone can have the name of this pip, but it's going to cost you a cool 15,000 dapper ducats. So you better be sure you want this pip. A lucky chat person may now throw their dapper ducats at the screen. Jake Toady. Okay. Bob Clark, you were very close, but sadly not quite close enough. How does one name pips? Exactly. How does this happen? I feel you've lied to me. It might only be tamed ones. Okay, well, let me see if I can name anything. You, Draco number 1. Oh, you're wild. Never mind. Hatch number something. You're tame. Yes. Very well. Hatch number something. How can I name you? Hello, Miss Minnie. Okay, if chat can tell me how I can name a tamed animal, then Jake Toady gets an animal. It might not be this pip, but it will be a animal. Maybe we could give you a molten slickster. It's a mod. I don't have any mods turned on. My lord. Chat telling me fibs. Alright. Well, we're just going to have to remember that this pip is Jake Toady. Alright. Let's see. No, it's Belial the Second. Alright. Yeah. You put the Dapper Ducats down, you get shoes. You know what? Maybe I should do that. Should I edit the rewards so that with naming game you can actually put in a name?